Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalecode.com. Okay, got the music a little bit lower for this video. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is it's a really important concept for you to understand. It's because most people, I should say most men on the planet are very left-brain creatures, and this causes a real huge dynamic problem between men and women. And I'm going to break it down. It's a little complicated, but I think you'll be able to understand. And I think it's going to shift your awareness of it, and that alone will help you to begin to create more possibilities. In fact, that's literally what this is about. Now, I've got a video from a client, Adam, who flew out from London, England 2 times. He completed the training twice, and then we actually went out to clubs and met women, did pick up stuff, etc. So Adam is a very successful guy out there in London. He literally is, there's London Square, but then he's over literally like a kitty corner square. It's called Westminster. It's a very expensive, rich place. He owns a business right on that square, and he owns a condominium literally on the corner from his gym. So he showed me a video when he was in his condominium, and he said, hey, that's my gym right there. So I go, you literally walk to work? He goes, yeah, it's right there. It's like 5 seconds or 10-second walk. So I'm going to show a video clip of him in a second here. I'm going to bring up video clips of Adam because I realize I've got a bunch of videos, testimonials, stuff that he's, the shifts he's made, etc. So I'm going to start uploading those videos probably starting now. Okay, so in NLP, when you're going through the Master Practitioner, Trainer, etc., you begin to learn about strategies. Now, strategies are things that we use, and usually until you go work with someone like me, they're just unconscious strategies that you probably learned when you were a little kid, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, which means they're probably not very effective as an adult. Now, the good thing is we can change strategies, and we can also begin to add strategies to give you what we call flexibility of behavior. Now, this concept, I just read it in one of Richard Bandler's books the other day. I'm rereading all my NLP books and starting over from the Practitioner and the home study courses. These are really in-depth. It takes you like a month or more if you study 3 hours a day. So it's a pretty in-depth thing for each course. So I just read this, and I forget the actual name of it, but essentially, those computer robots they make, and they have like the computer wars, not computer, but robot wars, and they fight each other. Well, there's a concept that got developed in technology, and because of that, and it's essentially the person being, or I forget the other word, or the thing, like like a robot, etc., that has the most behavioral flexibility wins. Tony Robbins goes over this in depth, okay, and he'll go over it in his books, his home study courses, and every single seminar he does. So if you don't have very much flexibility, you're not going to succeed in life in any area very well. Okay, so that's the general concept. Like, the more flexibility, the more tools you have, the more strategies you have, the more skill sets you have, the more likely you're going to succeed. It increases exponentially your ability to get more of what you want out of life. And that is what this course is about. I'm going to tell you something right now. A lot of guys come to me thinking, no, it's about getting laid, or it's about the girl, it's about, love. It's about your entire life. This course will shift every single area in your life. If you're a salesman, it will absolutely massively ramp up your sales. It'll increase your ability to gain rapport with people. It'll increase your ability to meet women, to reach love, to connect to her on a deeper level. Everything in your life will begin to shift. So a lot of times when people come to Richard Bandler, or someone like me, but I'm going to use Richard Bandler, is they think like, well, I have this bad strategy, so are we going to get rid of it? And he's like, no. It's never about getting rid of your tools. It's about adding tools to the toolbox, adding more strategies, so you have more choice. And that's the same thing as saying greater or more flexibility, okay? So essentially, here, one example they use is like, okay, you have your mother or your parent with their 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old child, and they're at the grocery store, And the kid's always reaching out, I want this toy, I want that toy, I want these cookies, or I want this. And the mom's like, we've got enough junk food, we've got cupcakes, we've got this, we got potato chips, we've got chocolate milk, that's enough. And then the kid, what he does is he'll scream and he'll get louder and louder. The mom's like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. And then the kid eventually will fall on the ground and start flipping out, screaming, yelling, rolling its body around, swinging its arms and legs, going, no, I want it now, and screaming. Finally, mom's like, okay, I'll get it for you. Well, that's flexibility of behavior. Now, one thing Tony Robbins has taught people is like, do the same thing to your kid and watch your kid get really quiet. So literally, you'll see parents throwing themselves on the ground, having a temper tantrum, just like the kid, yelling and screaming, swinging their arms and legs about, and the kid's like, oh shit, oh okay, sorry dad. So the person or thing or machine that has the greater flexibility of behavior wins. Now I know some of you guys are going to take this and run with it, because that alone right there, I could stop the video right now and boom, a lot of you guys are going to be like, no shit, okay. And you're going to go out in the world, pick up on women, talk to women like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to be more flexible than her. And that's awesome. Some of you are going to take it to sales going, I give up when a customer starts saying, no, I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. You got to have greater flexibility and just do different things, try different things, and until you succeed. And then there's the guys that are going to be like, oh, I couldn't do that. Boom, right there. That's where you're stuck. Lack of flexibility. I've done some of the wildest things. Like there's a guy that I met, and we would go to San Francisco, and we were both trained in NLP, so we would walk up and we would do hypnotic techniques on homeless people. We would do the phobia cures. We would do reframing, all these things to help them overcome the conflicts inside their brain. Homeless people, essentially, not all, but most of them have some kind of mental or emotional issue that they need to heal. There's probably more than one, or a shift in perspective. So this was our way to develop our skills and our tools and our abilities. And then what we did, we started going to coffee shops, and we were both developing our pickup courses, our dating courses, and we would literally like make each other, hey, you've got to approach that girl right now, do this. And we would literally set up the techniques that we were going to practice and develop, such as like the predicate system, rapport skills, matching and mirroring. And then we went on to much, much greater, more advanced things. But the thing about it is this is how we got really good. Now, I admit in the beginning, I was like, dude, I can't fucking do that. I can't go up to a homeless person and ask him if he wants help, or, he's like, Mike, how are you going to get good at this stuff? Man, the whole Bay Area, from Berkeley to Oakland to Emeryville to San Francisco to San Rafael, Marin County to Daly City, to Burlingame, we were all over the place, going from coffee shop to coffee shop, bookstore to bookstore. And I'm telling you, we would approach, gain a conversation. If it lasted 20, 30 minutes, great. And then we go on to another one. If it lasted 2 minutes, great. But you get better the more you make yourself do things. And that's flexibility of behavior, having a greater choice, options, and possibilities. Now, in this video with Adam, specifically what we're going to talk about is his range. Technically would be different strategies. So it would be his range of expressing himself. And Adam says in the videos, he goes, I essentially went from extremely angry and forceful and like a bully all the way over to extremely happy. He goes, I had nothing in between. Now, because of this, Adam and I had a really hard time the first time he flew out. He didn't want to hear what I had to say. He thought I was full of shit. He was so fucking opinionated. But then he'd come back around like, oh, you're great, Mike. I love it. This is amazing. And I'm like, whoa. At one point, I thought the guy was bipolar. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of you may have been diagnosed as bipolar when you weren't bipolar at all. I'm going to break it down. Here's what it is. And this is why it's so important for men to learn this. So number one, the left brain is the singularness of purpose, meaning it's focused like it's looking at a microscope at one small little dot, like aiming at a target. And that's what the left brain was designed for. The right brain is the complete opposite. Left brain is for focusing on one thing at a time. The right brain is opening up to all the possibilities and trying a multitude of different things. And this gives you a much greater advantage over other people. Now, the problem is the left brain doesn't do that. The left brain, okay, here's how the left brain works. It's either or. So what I want you to do is imagine you draw a rectangle right in front of your eyes, about, I don't know, a foot away or something. So you draw the rectangle, top line, go down, then all the way back, and then up. You got a rectangle, right? Now, draw a line down the middle. Now you've got two boxes. This is how the left brain filters everything it hears, sees, feels, smells, and tastes. Body language, communication, verbiage, words, everything. Any form of communication and any experience. It's always filtered through A, it's good, or B, it's bad. So when you're in the left brain, you are definitely in the limited brain. Now, it's really good for studying things in the scientific method. The scientific method literally is the A or B. It's either A or it's B. There's no other possibilities. In fact, on our websites, they would say, hey, do you do A or B testing? Meaning, do you develop a website and then you can copy it and then slightly make maybe a color change or change the image at the top or something and see what causes people to buy more, meaning see which one increases your conversion rate, which means more sales. So that's called A/B testing. That's a left brain concept. Now the problem is most modern men are stuck in this A/B testing and they can't figure out why they're stuck in life. See, this was meant to be for a very, very specific thing. So the problem with having either A or B, it causes you to literally, like Adam said, he goes, I had either extreme anger response or extreme happiness response. He goes, I had nothing in between. And that is literally the way Adam came to me. He was this very logical dude, left to right, left to right. His conversations, he would always say, well, it's either this or it's that. So the left brain form of thinking is either or. It's literally called the black or white either or mentality. That's why these guys will say or, either or, black or white, this or that. Now here's the deal. Aristotle is the one who created the word or. He was trying to add flexibility of communication so you can express yourself more in depth so other people could understand you. The problem is it actually created people to become extremely limited down to either one or two, A or B, and that was it. Please follow along. This one concept is going to change and shift your life. All right, now this is a real life story example that will help you understand how screwed up this is. And this causes a major problem between men and women. And it's a really stupid thing too. The either or mentality is literally only supposed to be applied to business, math, or science. The problem is men apply this in every other area of life. Every other area of life is the social brain, the right brain. And that's usually 90% of the day, even when you're at work. 90% of the time at work is you're interacting with humans. That's social. When you're doing specific things like brain surgery or back surgery or studying molecules under a microscope, that's when you're supposed to be in the either or mentality. And that's the only time. Even when you're at a business meeting, you're supposed to go in your social brain to kind of gather information like what. Because see, the right brain is the brain that gathers information. Okay, so here's the example. So my goddaughter and I were at Cold Stone or Stone Cold or whatever it's called. I get it mixed up. And the ice cream place, right? And they have all these different flavors and stuff. And they have all these options. That's why women love this store. Remember, the right brain is about options and possibilities. And women love options. In fact, I'll give you a little tip right now. Start using the words options and possibilities in your sentences. This will bring women to you, or at least tune into you. Now, there's going to be a lot more to it, but at least I'll give you a little bit there. So we got our things, she got this complicated thing where they had to mix it and blend it and stack it and do all these flavors and syrups and sprinkles and all kinds of stuff, right? And then I got mine. Mine was a little bit more simple, but it was, I had a couple, like 3 different flavors and some stuff on the top. So we sit down and this couple walks in and he orders his ice cream, right? And it was a real simple, it was like he wanted like a sugar cone, or I forget what it was called, something cone with vanilla and chocolate syrup, 2 scoops. Now it was really simple, like boom, that was it. And I remember the girl behind the counter even going, well, sir, do you want something else? I mean, we could add cherries. We could. He goes, no. He goes, that's all I want. She's, well, are you sure? Because, I mean, this place was all about options and possibilities. And she's looking at him like, that's it? Just chocolate and vanilla? Oh, okay. Now, some of you might be going, well, yeah, that's the way I like it too. Now, it's nothing wrong with it. But that's a left brain way of going through life. You walk into this options and possibility store that was designed for that, and you go black and white. Chocolate and vanilla. With no sprinkles or strawberry on top. So now it's his wife's turn. Now they're about 44, 45, 46 years old. And you could tell they had wealth. I live in a very, very, very wealthy county. This is one of the richest counties in the United States. Sean Penn lives here, Carlos Santana, Sean Penn's wife. I mean, just all these people. I mean, Huey Lewis in the News, the Journey, Metallica. All these people live here, okay? Or at least used to. I think Metallica actually moved away a few years ago. Okay, so now it's his wife's turn. So she goes, well, I would like to get a sugar cone dipped in chocolate, and then I would like to get a scoop of raspberry frazzle dazzle mazzle. It was I forget what it was, but raspberry something. And then I would like to get orange sherbet, and then I would like to get a scoop of frickin' strawberry frickin' spontaneous sparkles. You know, I'm actually making this up, but it was just a really like colorful, you know, complex thing. And then what I'd like to have syrup drip down one side, and on the other side I'd like chocolate syrup on that side, but I want sprinkles on this side, and then on this side I want the raspberry frickin' droppings or whatever they call them, and then on the top I want, and he's now watch this. My goddaughter is grinning from ear to ear, and I'm looking at her, and we're both looking at the husband, and his brain's going woo 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 woo. He's just about to blow his fucking top. Now, here's the deal. The reason why I forgot, the whole reason why I was mentioning that Marin County is very wealthy, we have all these wealthy people here, is these were wealthy people. It was obvious by their gold watches, the way they dressed. I mean, these people had plenty of money. Money was not the problem. So this dude's just, his face was literally going beet red, and he's getting angrier and angrier. And Cindy looks at him like, oh shit, here it goes. So she's adding more and more stuff on, and the girl behind the counter is all excited to make it and stuff. And he looks at her, his wife, and he goes, "You can't do that." And she looks at him, and she goes, "Why?" Now here's the funny thing: my goddaughter has taken my course. Like, she's attended when men took the course, and she's answered some of their questions and stuff. Now she knew all about this. She understood that what was already happening, how men think in black or white, either or. It's either this or that. You know, it's not about options and possibilities. And so she understands the concept. She understands why. And we're just like grinning. We're fucking laughing. And fucking this dude, and his wife goes, "Why?" And he looks at her, kind of freezes, and goes, "Fuck, I don't really have an answer." Like, he couldn't say, well, because I'm an either or thinker, left or right, black or white. You can only get one or two choices. And so he kind of looks at her and you just can't. Me and my goddaughter, we fucking busted up laughing so fucking hard. He looks at us and she looks at us, and we didn't give a fuck. So she ended up getting what she wanted, but you could tell, like, he could. Now here's the deal: you could see in his face, he was like, "Well, fuck, I don't know." Like, but everything in his body was screaming, "No, you can't do that." And this is what happens with either or people. It's either A or it's B. You can't get both. Now, what I say to people when they say that, I'm like, "Well, why?" And they're like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you just can't. You got to choose." Well, I choose both. Now, here's the thing. Women know that men are stuck this way, so they use this either or thing on you. Now, here's the deal. When you look at them, go, "Well, I choose both." On the one hand, like, damn, I lost. But then on the other hand, like, oh, cool, I got a guy that can think outside of the box. And that is one of the behaviors we add to you when you take my course. So all of a sudden, people can't trick you with this either or thing. Now, here's the thing. It's pervasive. You don't even know you're doing it until you pop out of it. When you learn how to say a couple things like, "No, I choose both." And they're, fuck. Because a lot of salespeople try to trap you in this either or thing. A lot of people do. When you learn just to say, "No, I choose both." And they're like, okay, shit. They don't have an answer for that. And thus, you win. And that is what this course is all about. All right, now here comes Adam. I want you to listen to what he says fairly early on about his range of emotions or expressions.
Yeah, so would you say when you have conversations with me now, not only is there greater clarity, but do you feel more heard now than ever before?
Yeah, I feel a lot more like content, a lot more open, a lot more flexible in my mind. I'm a lot more fluid with my emotions. I could be giggling one moment, I could feel compassion another, I could be sad another, and I could be content the next second. And it's like, I don't find emotion. I used to cut emotions off. I used to either be angry or happy. There was no other emotion. I didn't know. I would flip between the two. I would store all the other emotions into some little container, and you'd either have me angry or happy. You either did something that I wanted and I was happy with, or we agreed with, I was happy. Anything outside of that, and I was angry. I mean, I used to be quite aggressive when I was younger,
Oh, I remember when you came out here, you were ping pong. I was like, whoa, fuck.
You're like, which one is he? Is he angry or happy? That was my repertoire of emotions. Now, I'm more like I'm more like a wave. I don't get consumed by my emotions. I flow with them.
And it feels better though.
Yeah, I can let them come in and out, and I can enjoy them, and I can even just nurture myself. So it doesn't really matter what emotion I feel. I'm still, I guess, grounded is the word we'd use, right? It's just I'm okay.
Emotionally grounded.
That's the one. Emotionally grounded.
So let me ask you a question. Would you highly, and I'm emphasizing that on purpose, would you highly recommend people to take the Cracked Female Code course to not understand women, love women, turn women on, attract women, draw women to you without doing anything, and to heal yourself emotionally? Number one, would you highly recommend that men take that course? And B, the new one that you've just done, would you highly recommend people that are hurting emotionally from their past, their childhood, whatever, a breakup, would you highly recommend they take the emotional healing? I don't want to call it a course. Go ahead.
I would actually recommend both courses to
men.
For men, they should do the Crack the Female Code course, and then I would also do the Emotional Awareness course as well, because
emotional healing.
Emotional healing course, because men really. Yeah, I think they really have to get a lot of evolution. I think for women, the emotional healing will help a lot, and that's a necessity, I would say, for anyone that wants to heighten themselves spiritually, feel self-loving and content and whole. And I think guys just, do them all, get it all done. It's I think we have more work to do, because I mean the way that lifestyle is nowadays is very different to how we were wired genetically and before. So us men, we used to live in a fight or flight lifestyle for years and years. There's not many of us going to the army or going on the battlefield to save our country and kill. We don't do that anymore. So what a lot of men don't realize is that they're living life like that emotionally, and it's not healthy.
Okay, so that's a good place to stop. By the way, Adam, we were talking phone to phone. He was in London at the time, so I don't remember if we did it through Facebook or I don't think we did. I think we did it through something else, probably WhatsApp. Okay, so Adam made a really good point at the very end. So number one, Adam is coming in saying, I'm telling you, so he came out a second time, because the first time he came out, he argued so much, he expressed so much anger that he really interrupted a lot of the course. And I'm like, hey man, you're blowing it. I go, if you want to stay an extra day, he goes, oh, I can't, I got to go back. But when he went back, he's like, wait a minute, this stuff's working. So he realized, he goes, I blew it. He goes, I want to come back and do it again. And I was so pissed off. I'm like, you know what, dude? I go, I'm not going to give you a break on the price because of, how much yelling you did. I go, if you come and do it that again, I go, I'm just going to cut it off. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, Mike, I realize the value of this course now. Because of the results he was getting with the very little bit that he did get out of the course. All right, so here's the deal. So now here's the thing though. The one thing that I kept saying is, Adam's not a bad guy. There was just something that was like limiting, and I was like, well, what is this? Here's what it was. It was what he said in the beginning. He goes, my entire repertoire of behavior of dealing with people was either super angry or super happy. And he said, he literally goes, I cut off all emotions in between. Remember when he said that? I think his words exactly were, I cut off all other emotions. So he had A or B. The left brain, either or thinking, A or B. It's a very limited brain. I'm telling you, that brain, even when you go to a business party, you're supposed to use your right brain, the social brain. Those are the men that get ahead. So inherent in the course Crack the Female Code, we are going to teach you what I call internal awareness techniques and emotionally grounding techniques. That right there is where you're going to begin to develop those in-between states between pure anger and pure happiness, okay? So one of those states might be curiosity. Another state is just having an empty brain and empty heart. Not empty, but like you're not moving, okay? There's just pure silence. That's one of the things I teach you how to do. So instead of being push or pull, you're neutral. Now that's another state that we teach you how to gain and how to enter. Now right now you're like, what do you mean? Like, why would I do that? Because it attracts women massively. It increases your sales. It does everything. Learning how to be neutral and not push or pull and just listen. Now here's something, listen closely. Open up to receive other people's communication. I'm going to teach you how to do that versus just say, what you need to do is just open up to receive and be neutral. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's a step-by-step process that we take you through. Now, what are women really attracted to in men? Social skills. Specifically, Michael, what kind? Right brain social skills. The left brain really isn't social skills. It's either good or bad, right or wrong. You're either on my side or you're against me. I mean, this causes conflict everywhere you go. And that's what Adam was doing with everyone at his work, with me, because he would have phone calls from people that worked for him while he was here. He's, hey man, I got to take this call. And he would yell and scream at these people, and then they'd call back an hour later, and he'd be super happy. And I'm looking at this guy like, man, dude, you're either bipolar or something's going on here. Well, all it was, he had to learn behaviors in between anger and happiness. I am telling you, I wish I would have recorded how intense this guy was. In the beginning, when he first flew out, he was either super happy or super pissed. There was no in-between gears. There was either first or there was reverse, and that's it. Now, we're going to build in all these other behaviors and responses and way to deal with people, and all of a sudden you have a, what's the word, like a repertoire of choices, a plethora of choices and abilities to deal with things in different ways, because not everything is meant to be dealt with super happy or super angry. There's some times where you got to just slow down and just listen to receive what someone's saying. Here's the really cool part. This gets done automatically while I'm teaching you these techniques and skills, the emotional grounding skills, the internal awareness skills, and all of a sudden you will call me like, weirdest thing in the world. Like, I actually did this completely radically different thing, and I didn't even realize that I learned it from you. He goes, and here's the great Adam called. He goes, Mike, you're not going to believe this. I started talking in this way from this completely different perspective, and I didn't even notice it until after the conversation. I'm like, yeah, I go, that's what I told you. I pre-train your brain. There's something we learn in NLP. It's called pre-training. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. In this video and every video that you've listened to over the last 2 or 3 months, I've been doing it. So like Adam noticed, he said, I actually started using some of those languaging patterns that you taught me. He goes, but I wasn't doing it. He goes, I was just in a conversation with this woman, and I began to notice just after I was saying it, it's like, wait a minute, that's that pattern. Your unconscious mind, when it has more options and possibilities, it will always choose the best one. And you begin to do it unconsciously. And that's when a lot of people look at me like, well, I don't understand what you're doing. I've trained myself to do this stuff so naturally, so unconsciously, that I don't have to think when I'm talking to a woman. I just open up and talk and think, and I get it, not think, but I get an image in my mind, and that's all I talk about. It's very natural, and it's very simple, and it takes off all the pressure. There's no pressure in my course. See, just like Adam, a lot of you will deal with people and just get angry, and it's not necessarily because you're angry. It's because you're like, okay, well, either I'm happy or I'm angry, and like there's nothing else in between. So you're like, well, which one's appropriate in this case? In this case, it's anger. So boom, you unconsciously get angry. What I'm suggesting is that you're going to start gaining a bunch of different behaviors and strategies and different ways to interact and respond to people that are much better in context. So the more you develop these skills, the more behaviors you begin to develop, and you can pick and choose from. And I will tell you this, your unconscious mind will do it itself. Once it understands the concepts, it'll start doing it all by itself. Alright, so that's it for this video. Just by listening to this video, your unconscious mind is already starting to click, bzz, bzz. It's already starting to spin these thoughts and ideas. And there's already some things that I've taught you in this video where your unconscious mind's going, man, I never thought of it like that. I bet you somewhere in this video was thinking consciously that exact same thing, like, I never realized that. If you want more, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, and read it. Every single person who has ever bought that book has been blown away. It will change your life. Go to crackthefemalecode.com and buy it right now. If this video introduced you to a new concept or a few new concepts, the book is going to blow you away. It's a ton of new concepts. New concepts, new strategies, new ways of looking at women, and different perspectives on how to understand them and communicate. The book is going to radically shift the way you look at life, women, and yourself. Okay, so you can read the testimonials on my website under the book Crack the Female Code, or you can go, there's someone who just made a response 2 days ago on my video, Focus on Getting Results with Women, Dating Tips for Men. It has the caveman on the thumbnail. His YouTube channel, it's kind of hard to say, it's Kafulakalusa 6132. So here's what he said. He said, your book has blown me away, especially the chapter about the female cycles and the wrap-up notes and the final stories. You're a blessing to me, and thank God for that, ! A Bitcoin guy, what do you think about the book? Make a comment in the right here in the description box. Not the description box, but the comment section. Remember, this is the new channel I just started just for men. The other channel started to get convoluted with women and all the issues, so now this one is just for men. Now here's the funny thing, I already looked in my analytics. We already have 25% of my subscribers are women. That's how much they love the way I talk and what I'm talking about. You can buy my book and take it, and if you have a concept that you learned that's new, go to women and say, hey, I learned this thing from this guy's book. What do you think about this? It will open, it's a conversation starter. Women love talking about these concepts. Alright, that's it, guys and girls. Remember, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want to help out this channel, buy one of my books or buy my package, the ultimate package. Okay? Remember, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and go ahead and make a comment.